Stream is starting. I'm just going to send out a ping on Discord and we will get going. Hello. Okay, so what are we doing today? We are working on the Worth Candle Exclusion stock. This, one sec. This is a list of exclusion zones that I'm just filling out. I've got I added colors to this. Red is like I have an entry for it. Blue has some kind of prominence within the work itself that'll need to be referred to. And green is what I am working on today. So core flowers is it is an end-head exclusion zone. The general idea here is that there's a magical hat that when you put the hat on, yes, VOD should be set up for next time. Hopefully. And if I did it wrong, then I guess we will have no VOD. And it won't be a big deal. Okay, I think I have everything set up to actually get working on this. No, I don't have my timelines. Okay. So the basic idea for this one is a magical hat, and when you put it on, you want, your only purpose in life is to protect the hat. And that's it. That's the whole exclusion. I think this post dates Second Empire. When I was filling out my my exclusion list, I didn't put in dates for everything. I put in dates where I knew dates, or where dates were in the either the world building doc or the main work itself. So I'm just gonna have to add dates and figure them out from there. Okay, I mean it'll be in the nature section, which I'll be writing now, so you have more than enough time. See, the good thing about missing the stream, first of all, there should be a VOD. And second, the writing takes a lot of time, and I can't write max speed for me. Doing creative writing is 30 words per minute. No, that seems low. 30 words per minute, 30. I don't know. It's 1,000 words per hour if I'm at top speed, which I will not be on stream. So whether people can leave the geographic area is kind of dependent on the NTAD. I think for this one they can, because and the criteria for whether you can leave if you've been like tainted or infected or whatever by the thing is basically whether it would be broken or not, and then second whether it would be interesting or not. So for this one, I think it's interesting and not broken. So people will be able to leave with some wrinkles, I think. An entity could be excluded without a zone, but that would be like boring, I guess. Yeah, so the exclusion zone seems fine, but like the thing that I find interesting about this idea, I guess, is that you can have like 10,000 people or like 100,000 people who are all like united in one common cause, but who disagree with each other, and they can have a failed state, and like they have all these problems that they can't overcome in spite of that. Yeah, they can't put the hat on Celestar because it is confined to the exclusion zone. So, like, they want to protect the hat, but it can't leave the exclusion zone, so they have to have their protection be within this specific geographic area, which is also, in my opinion, more interesting than, just putting it at the bottom of a ocean or whatever. Yeah, you could put it in an elemental plane, but people don't know that. Is the problem. Or not a problem. I mean, that's good, because otherwise, yes, that would be a better way to do it. You would also need you would need sufficient star magic to do that, and then you'd need to find, I don't know, there are logistical reasons. Yeah, and there would be other problems as well, but the biggest problem is ignorance. the Needle's definition of clothes does not include substantial armor. But it's kind of, not beside the point, but like the exact chain, I think that maybe needs a little bit more work, but I'll think on that. I think the idea that the hat by itself is like a low-level evil that, when mixed with other stuff, becomes this like super powerful, threatening thing is what I like about that, and like that leading to exclusion is more it's more interesting because I think it's like one of the it'll be, when this doc is completed, it'll be one of the other things. It'll be one of the only NTAD chain type things when it's done. But the exact nature of like what kind of chaining gets there, I don't know. I want that to be interesting. Why is it called Core Flowers? I'm not sure that's going to be in here. I think I just liked that name. Like, in my head, I have this idea that Core Flowers was a city known for these like meadows with blue flowers around it, but that's sort of incidental to the thing. Maybe that'll be in the features section. Why it's called Core Flowers and stuff like that, but it's not. It's nice for the exclusions to have like interesting names. Some of them are just going to be like different places. Are just going to be like random place names. It's good if they're puns. They can't all be puns. Like, it's good if they're meaningful. They can't all be meaningful. So. Could a soul or spirit mage resist the hat or deprogram the convert? I mean, yes. You could. You could like deprogram them, but I don't know. Like, I guess the answer is yes, but that's not super relevant. Hat could not be moved. The exclusion zone for this one is going to be small, like small enough to contain a mid-sized city. Soul magic exclusions all have geographical locations. Yes, they're just impossible to find without probing. Date, we'll do 3. Soul magic zones will not be in the dock. I think there's going to be one in the dock, which is manifest, because that's like mentioned in the work, and it's a known one, but yeah, for the Doris probability one, I believe it was. I need to double check, but I believe it was a crappy entad that was multiplied a bunch of times, and when multiplied in that way could give more accurate estimates if you had like 1,000 people. There's no protection effect of the hat. It's a pun. Or it's not a pun. It's wordplay. It's just it is a hat that makes you want to protect it. I don't know. I might need to change the name. There's something in D&D called a ring of protection. That gives you a protection bonus. Yeah, it just makes you want to protect it. That's why it's you put on a ring of protection and you want to. I don't know. I might change it. The only change I made is remove brilliant, which is not maybe the best adjective, but it sounds better, I guess. What would happen if you destroyed the hat? I think I'm getting to that, but that's one of the primary questions that keeps people from trying to destroy the hat. Like, so this is an exclusion zone which is known to the Third Empire. It postdates the Second Empire. And like it's an exclusion zone that's known to the Third Empire, and then they have to like deal with it on a nation state level. So part of the question there is for the Third Empire is like, should we do this thing to try to destroy this hat, and what happens when we do, right? But also this isn't like, this city is not a huge humanitarian crisis in the way that Necro Laborum or Dorsopolis is. It's like a city full of relatively normal people. And I'll get into this in the like features section of this, but most of the people who live there have been like converted by the hat, but they just like go about their lives, right? Like they work hard to do their part to protect the hat, but they don't like see the hat at all on a normal basis, and most of what they do is just normal people stuff. Which I also find interesting, like that their lives don't look all that much different from a normal person's life. Like they work harder and like don't have leisure and stuff like that, but it's not like a wildly different place for all these hat people. Would the hat be the absolute top value? I guess if you want to, I'm not writing this from the perspective of, interactions with soul, but yes, it would be the top value, like not just the hat, but like protecting the hat, because you don't want to like possess the hat. It's fine for you. I don't know. There's some interesting politics stuff or interesting to me, where you have all these people who value the same thing, which is protection of the single hat, but their ideas for how to best go about protecting the hat can differ, and they can have like political differences or debates, or like they can have a failed state type thing. They can have a dysfunctional government, even though they all want the same thing. That's like the cool thing about this zone, and when you're reading through the exclusion doc, you'll get to this, and that's what you'll think is neat. All right, been going about half an hour, so hopefully I'm half done with this. Unindoctrinated is a word, yes. travel. Public stance of the cult. Fine. Okay. 20 square miles. Gives a radius of 2.5 miles. Okay. Let's go 3. That's fine. I normally normally when I'm doing population calculation, it's 1/2 acre of land needed per person with a moderately diverse diet. So in theory, that amount of land, if it was all arable, could support 25,000 people, which is not like a huge issue because there's magical food creation and stuff. I just try to keep that in mind. So that's like the upper bound for what they could provide for people for food without magic. What is the hat's tax policy? The location of the hat, known to the world, is a security risk, but it's also like really hard to just like hide it. Well, so there's a different thing, which is that 3 miles is only 18.8 square miles area. Well, okay, so there's, for like why the location here. Okay. Okay. I think maybe you have diameter instead of radius. Yeah, 3 miles is 28 square miles. Okay. So there are two considerations for keeping the hat in one place. The first, well, okay, so there's a couple of considerations. This will be in the no problem. There will be some of this will be in features, but so. I'm just listing them here. I need to show people in and out for conversion. 3. So imagine you have like a city of, I don't know, this is gonna be like, we'll say 20,000 people live in core flowers. No, it should actually be more than that. It should be more than that because there's the barren bread. In theory, would still be traded with them if they have normalized relations with the Empire of Common Cause. We'll say 100,000. That's roughly the size of the city I live in. But it's more densely packed for a number of reasons. But so let's say you have a city of 100,000 people and you have like more than half. You have like 60,000 of them are so you have like 60,000 of them that are converts. Well, most of those people, if their primary value is that the hat is protected, they don't want to leave that to, like, they don't want to absolutely leave that to someone else, right? Like, there's still, like, even if that's your value and you know other people share that value, you don't want to necessarily trust in them to have done everything absolutely correctly, right? So having big, strong defenses is good, like, in a known location is also good for their, I guess not, morale is probably the wrong word, but for the satisfaction of their values. That's my thinking anyway. So that's what we're going with. Yes. I don't know how much. Yeah, well, okay, so they're like whether or not you put walls around it kind of depends what's in the area and like what you expect to get out. Um, the problem is that walls are kind of a trivial barrier in a lot of ways for humans anyway, or for I guess mortals. Um, was this inspired by Planet of Hats? No, that was just a bonus. Um, I was thinking, I had the idea for the Untitled first. I didn't know what form it was going to take, and hat is one of the better ones because it is like a little bit silly, and then also it like goes on the head, and so is like more associated with changing someone's mind. But and then the Planet of Hats thing is a bonus for it. But I did think of that, but that's not the origin. The city. The city would break the mages agreement, but like they have normalized relations with the Empire of Common Cause. Like they to some extent want to stay in the Empire's good graces. They actually can send loyal people out to become mages, so long as they have an agreement to do that. So, like in theory, the city could send someone out. I don't know if we're gonna get like so. First cathedral is built by the cult when it's still like a proper hidden secret cult. Second cathedral, I don't know. This needs to go in the doc, but let me just make a note for myself. There's a specific phrase. I thought it was metamaterials, but nope. Okay. I think this is done, but I need to add some stuff back to. No, I need one more paragraph here. Yeah, no, I thought there was a specific word for those that was used like in, it would be metamaterials, but known to man. No, that is not a phrase. But I don't know what that word is. I'm not going to track it down right now. If it was ever used in there, I think it's a term used in Dungeons and Dragons, metamaterials, to mean materials that are like magical in nature, or like go beyond normal wood and stone. Yeah, I'll try to something else. But whatever, it's not a big deal. Okay, so we just need a section on politics. Okay, need to stop using normalized. So it's kind of sad all these cool ideas are being put in a document instead of in a story. potentially there could be a story later. I would be totally fine reusing any of these, but this is a lot easier than writing a story. It's like, you know, this is like 7 paragraphs compared to like 10,000 words for a short story. If anyone wants to like write a short story or even like a full story based on one of these, is a-okay by me. You do not even need to credit me. But yeah, their cool ideas are kind of cheap. They're easy to generate, and you just like this is like a quarter of a day's creative ideas for me. Like I spent like 20 minutes in bed last night as I was falling asleep thinking about what I want to do for this one today, and like what's neat about them and stuff like that. And then I'll spend like an hour writing, and that's fine. To fully develop these into an actual story would just take a huge amount of time that I don't have, especially since I'm working on This Used to Be About Dungeons as my like main thing, and this is just like a side hour and a half of the day. The current ruling class believe in steady, respectful relations with the EOCC, overwhelming and quite public defense. Other political powers exist within CFUs. I think that's enough for now. I will go to core flowers, change that to red. I will have to look at it. Obviously, this is just first pass. I think once I have 10 of these, I will Oh, I forgot to do word count. Okay. Okay, 4,000, and I have roughly 4. 2, 3, no. 4,000 seems about right. So I want these to be between 500 and 1,000 words each. But Core Flowers is done for now, and I will go back and edit it later, probably not as part of the stream, and just make sure it's everything I want it to be. This... Okay, this is going to be late Second Empire. I'm going to start on 1. But this is like almost exactly 1 hour uptime, so 281. That puts it right around the Necroloborum exclusion. Okay. I will do 1 more because I feel like doing 1 more, but I might not finish this one, especially if it would take me an hour, like the previous one did. Which is fine. That's a respectable amount of, well, that's maybe not a respectable amount of text, but it's a respectable amount of work for roughly an hour, plus answering some questions and talking and stuff. And it's like 1.5% of what I need to get done for this, so we're taking long. If I do 2 a day, then that means that I'm only doing this for a month, which is not too bad. And I don't have a chapter due for This Used to Be About Dungeons until Monday. Yeah, no, I'm fine going a little longer. I'm just here for an hour, basically. All trees become the same type of tree. That's technobabble. It's technobabble that will be explained, but I mean, ideally, you can read that and have a vague understanding of what it means. But it'll be explained within the text. So like the Linnaean Classification, yeah, you'll figure out from context. The Linnaean system divides it into like kingdom, family, phylum, order, genus, species. The Boehringer object classification scheme is that, but for objects. I mean, it is basically the entire thing of what this zone is. Are all organisms hermaphrodites? See, that's one of the things I'm thinking about. I guess yes, but then like they would need to be like perfect reproductive hermaphrodites, or else like everything, or else there'd be no way for animals to like sustain population. Yeah, there's no genetic diversity within the LLET. Yeah, the well, okay, no, the efforts to exploit or extend it include, like, yeah, it is an exploitable zone though. It is a place that has useful, productive purpose within this. It's just that this I think it's called. You don't go back to normal if you leave. No. Is it soul deep? Yeah. So when I was thinking about this, the image in my head is you go to this like town there. Every tree is the same tree. Every like blade of grass is the same blade of grass. Everything gets like made to be approximately the same as everything else of its type. but the thing is then, like, having it extend physically is one thing, and then having it go further is something else. Like having it go down to your memories or emotions or things like that. So I don't think it goes that deep, but I do think it affects. I think it does the thing. So for how the interaction with the soul works is it changes the body, and the body itself changes the soul. So if you stay there long enough, it'll be changed within your soul. Yes, but it'll change you physically before it changes you in the soul. Well, I mean, it depends on how long it takes, right? Like you can still be. So the soul does just naturally conform to the body. Yeah. Yeah, so like when you get like cut deep enough with the sword, it leaves a mark on your soul, and that's why scars don't like heal back properly. Or if you get like that's a scar gets written onto the soul in the worth the candle thing. How fast is the effect? Pretty slow, probably a matter of like weeks maybe. Or possibly faster than that, maybe a matter of days, but it's also not. It's also like what's the word? Discontinuous, maybe, where it's not like a straight line that you could chart. It's like the it takes a while to get going. I don't know. You could probably map out a curve or something like that, but. You don't instantly become a generic skeleton. Because the effect is slow, there's some allowance for transitions and stuff. Specific cause in mind? No. That's part of why it's not in here. It's not. It's one of those things that's best left unsaid if it's not going to be interesting. Like, I think you could for sure build a like a prototypical magic like around this effect. Like, you could have prototype mages that whose work is to like transform things, but I don't think this needs that, and I don't think it's that interesting, I guess. Like, you turn any tree in, yeah, conformism, sure. But yeah, you could build a magic system around this and then have this be like one aspect of it, but I also don't want these to get like super long. This is, I think, how long was that previous one? That felt like a good length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so Core Flowers was 8 paragraphs. That seems like a fine length. That's enough to like get at the thrust of what the exclusion zone is, what's interesting about it, and stuff like that. So. For prototypical animal types, I didn't have anything in mind. I probably want to think about that and maybe not have it before, but I like the idea that it's a small number, so that, like, if you bring, if you bring a spider in, it slowly changes into a crab or something. That's neat to me. Yeah, 4 was just picked out of a hat. What I probably should do is go on Wikipedia. Look at Linnaean taxonomy and where's my... Okay, this is not what I want. All right, what are my divisions of Animalia? This is what I hate about the Linnaean system, is that you get like 20 kinds of worms. Like, yeah, that's important, sure, but okay. Sorry, I'm just reading Wikipedia to try to figure out how many types of things I should have. Jawless vertebrates, jawed vertebrates. Okay, I'm just going to randomly up this to 10 because I don't want to spend more time reading right now. I will figure out Linnaeus' system later. Same 3 types of trees. 10 distinct types. I'll figure that out later. It doesn't really need to be in the exclusion doc. Will the animals be chimeras? No. I don't... I mean... In theory, they're more prototypes than they are... like some new thing, which is not a prototype, but... Or like some new thing that's a merger of all existing types. Okay. Yeah, the most generic animal that the most, well, not the most generic, the most prototypical, right? Like if you're talking about the most prototypical plant used for food that comes from the ground, probably be either carrot or potato, at least in the West. So I don't know the exact boundaries for the classification system. I need to look at that a little bit more. The zone is also used for trade as... It could have come up. Yes. The slowness of it is a problem for that. But I'm not super concerned with that. Do similar things for other animals exist, similar to the hypothetical ancestral mollusk? Yes. That there are like ancestors of them. Like the ancestral language is Proto-Indo-European. But yeah, the common ancestor thing is very widespread through a lot of for at least for plants and animals and stuff. There's a common ancestor for which is not actually that similar to any modern things, but there's a common ancestor for brassica, for the like kale and broccoli and cabbage and stuff. Okay, I think that's fine for history. This is like supposed to be one of the more, or one of the only like chill exclusion zones where it's like purely a thing that kind of exists there. It's not a threat. It's not like horrible. Yeah, prototypical materials would be roughly based on the elemental planes, which are themselves were created by me because those were prototypical materials. If we went to talk to GPT-3, it would we want the stuff that it would like list out as being like, name me a type of something, you know. What happens if a book is brought in there? Does text change? I think the answer is yes. I think that the text and material both change. I think that right. That they're. I mean, the fact that you can link those things up together means that you possibly should. It makes everything a little bit more coherent, but the setting of worth the candle is supposed intentionally supposed to be a little incoherent. Uh, what happens if you bring a computer or device in something not seen before? NTADs, in theory, would just stop working. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I think a lot of stuff just would become something more prototypical. So the other thing that this zone, in theory, can link to is like P space or something like that. Like there's already like conceptual space within Work the Candle to handle stuff like that. Yeah, I would think it would gradually destroy NTADs and the other argument you could make is that an NTAD is like its own thing, and so the prototype of it is itself, like the prototype space for it is just one thing. But I think it would lose its magic. I think it would destroy the NTAD. But it's kind of a corner case. I think the only thing necessary for this one to be complete, and then I will have done two, it'll be like an hour and a half. It's great progress. The only thing left is something about the population. Native in quotes. Okay. So they still. I'm not sure Mage would lose their powers. So. Like, it depends on where the source of their powers comes from. I guess. Okay. Here, I can add a thing. Do all mortal species become human-looking? Yes. So the LL easy is cheery, yeah. The CF easy is not. But it's not like a terrible place to be. I mean, they're united and happy, but they're also brainwashed. So, I mean, I guess it depends on your feelings there. I think this one is done. Why did they not go there for rat rot thing? It's just too slow. I don't feel like that's a plot hole that needs to be addressed, or like I don't think it needs to be addressed at all. I don't think anything is added by addressing it. It's just one of those things where you have a line there to address the plot hole, and okay, it's not like a plot hole necessary. It's just like I don't know. It's one of those things that like you read this and you maybe question that, but as long as there's an answer which is that it's too slow, that's totally fine. Okay, I'm gonna call that one done for now. I will go back and edit it later for next time. I think we're gonna do this one. Okay, so just picking out what's for next time. So we got 2 done in hour 45. That's not terrible. Okay. Okay, tools, word count. Word count is roughly 5,000. I will try to remember to check that next time at the start of the stream. So I think 40,000 is like the minimum that this will end up being. I don't need to like pad word count though, because no one's holding me to some specific word count. So, and I'm just gonna do this as an ntad minor, I think, because you can still live there. We'll make this green. What else do I want to do? Sure, we'll do this divination one, which does not have a name. Call this the S stat for now. See if I can think of something better. And Flaguhan is the one thing I need to do is I need to make sure that the count for major and minor comports with what's in the text, that this is the same number in both. Sure. And that'll be for next time. Okay, that is the end of the stream. Thanks for joining me. I will be doing this again tomorrow, roughly the same time. I gotta go work on This Used to Be About Dungeons now. Million Nations. Okay, well, whatever. We'll look some stuff up for next time. All right. See you guys tomorrow if you want to join. Otherwise, I'll just be on Discord and I'll be writing. Oh yeah. Well, I gave Bacon Time the exclusions list. like when they were making the map, I gave Bacon time to list this sheet, and not all of them had names. I will I'll go look at the map or ask Bacon time, and most of those unofficial names will probably become official. Because Bacon time had the full list when making the map. So, all right, see you guys later. Hopefully there will be a VOD for this.